During the spring equinox of 2023, several global thought leaders and world-renowned spiritual teachers came together for the Sedona Ascension Retreat hosted by me, Suzanne Ross. I am so delighted to present to you now the videos of their powerful presentations presented on the main stage of the Sedona Performing Arts Center. Enjoy these sneak peeks and then visit SedonaAscensionRetreats.com to purchase the video package, including 12 videos with over 15 hours of extraordinary footage. These presentations are enlightening, inspiring, and empowering. Let's start with world-renowned ascension teacher, mythologist, TV personality, and author, William Henry.
Early on, like 20 years ago, I stumbled on this thinking, this process of what if Jesus is a Stargate traveling time traveler? And we think of him as like traveling through a wormhole, which has the mouth on one end, the throat, and then a mouth on the other end where you exit into another realm or even another dimension. And I'll never forget, for example, being in the Temple of Hathor at Dendera in 2003, one of the first times I went there. And I'm looking up at the ceiling and I see this resurrected man. This is a human being, a Ptolemaic king, probably Ptolemy Soter III, who's on his arc of the millions of years, got his resurrection stick in his hand, and he's headed for Sirius or Orion, where he's ascending. And I looked at that and I thought, that looks like exactly the way modern science portrays a wormhole. So what if, and this is what if the ancient Egyptian gods came to Egypt and taught the pharaohs how to ascend and how to travel through what we today think of as a wormhole, but they called it the Arc of the Millions of Years, or the Ship of Eternity. And that was a really powerful idea that it still inspires me 20 years later to think that's a possibility. And recognizing that our flesh and blood body isn't going through one of those wormholes. Okay? It's just not going to happen. That means there's a preparation, there's a transformation, there's a transfiguration that happens before we go through those portals or gateways. And that's the point of earth life, right? This is what Christ knew. That's why he's in the magic bubble, because he assuredly studied here at the Temple of Hathor at Dendera. Here's again the Ptolemaic king. He's sitting on his Arc of the Millions of Years. He's got his feathered ascension throne. Excuse me, I'm just going to go back. Feathered ascension throne. He's got his magic stick, his resurrection stick, his key of life. He's got his crown. He's all good to go. And you would wonder, I wonder what it would look like to see him face on. If instead of showing him in profile, if the ancient Egyptians decided to show this Ptolemaic pharaoh face on, what would he look like? Well, they answer that for us. He'd look exactly like Jesus, who's in the mouth of the wormhole, sitting on the same throne. He, in other examples, holds the same resurrection stick, okay? There's this Stargate and wormhole and ascension technology that's all over the temple walls of ancient Egypt, and that's what I've spent the past 20 years trying to decipher and to understand, and would love to have you go with me on one of these journeys, because they're truly life-transforming. When you're face-to-face with this imagery and feeling the vibration of it and connecting with the place, it's such a powerful experience. And so all of these symbols here could, in fact, be external technologies. You know, maybe the pharaoh would go down to some ancient Best Buy store and say, I want my resurrection stick, and let me get my crown of salvation and my feathered ascension throne. Right? Every car dealer in Sedona ought to be selling one of those. But what if they're symbols? Right? What if they're actually symbols of consciousness technologies that we can develop from within us?
Enjoy this sneak peek featuring CEO and founder of Forbidden Knowledge, a best-selling author and world-renowned spiritual teacher, Billy Carson.
So you look at the universe as above, so below, right? And so what is actually happening here? What is our mission as a sentient being on this planet right now? A lot of people have that question, like, what are we doing here? Why? We are on a data collection mission. We are here to collect information. We are spiritual beings having a physical experience for a temporal amount of time, right? Temporal meaning the time frame. And if you look at the way that the universe works in fractals, what happens on the highest level also happens on the smallest level. So look at the brain first, because now we can't perceive the bigger picture from this perspective unless we analyze what's going on here. The brain is encased in darkness in your skull. The brain has no idea what's going on outside of that skull. Zero. It knows nothing. But what does the brain have? It has friends. Sight, touch, smell, hearing, right? Taste. It has sensory, your sensory friends. So the brain says to its friends, go out there and bring me back some data so I can figure out what's going on. The friends go out, they touch, they smell, they taste. The friends themselves have no idea what's going on out here. But they bring the data, the digital data, they bring it back to the brain. They send it to the brain via fiber optics, our nervous system, right? The brain takes that data and sorts it all out within milliseconds and then projects a hologram as to what's going on the outside, and then you navigate through the matrix based on that holographic projection. And that's how you move through this world. We're living in a gigantic holodeck, if you ever watched Star Trek. But that's the process. The process is direct. But what is it that's going on? Data collection. That's important. The mind is collecting data. Now we know the universe is a mind. It has enough connections. If you zoom out from the universe and look at it from millions of miles away through computer simulations, it looks like the nervous system of a human brain. Interesting. So if you understand now that we are a fractal of the whole, and in a fractal you find the largest in the smallest piece. So let's now magnify to the massive scale and realize, oh, the universe has basically imbued itself into Googles of entities throughout the entire universe. Google is actually a number, not the search engine. Just in case you didn't know. Google is actually a number. Through Googles of entities throughout the entire universe, and we are its friends. We are all it, and it is us. Separation is an illusion. Division, individuality is all an illusion. We are actually one entity experiencing itself subjectively as multiple beings through various perspectives. And what are we all doing? We're collecting information. We're transmitting it back to the source. I'm experiencing life as Billy Carson. Brad's experiencing life as Brad, right? You all are experiencing life as yourself. But we're all the same entity. And we're all transmitting back through spiritual connections back to the source. What is it like to go through life experience as yourself? And all sentient beings are doing that throughout the entire known universe. That's what's happening. And why? Because the divine creator wants to know what it's like to be us in the third dimension. From every aspect, from every perspective. What is it like to be a blade of grass? What is it like to be a rock? And that's what's going on.
Introducing retired Navy SEAL and CIA operative, and now a best-selling author, personal development coach, and truth revealer, Michael Jacob.
I'm teaching people how to connect with God, how to connect with Source, infinite Source, infinite knowing. That's how I know when attacks are coming and exactly what they're going to look like. That's how I know a lot of things that I put out on my channels now. I can look into the future and I can see stuff, but things are very sketchy right now. Things are very sketchy. I see some things very, very clear. I see this darkness, this deep state, if you want to call it that, which I do, that's in charge, that's controlling the world right now. I see them under unbelievable attack. They're being taken down on a massive level. So that, yeah, yay, that's a good thing. And how does that happen? Because we're raising our consciousness. This group right here, the consciousness level is off the charts. You guys are beaming that stuff out right now. So when we get together, like we are right now, so I'm a team operator, right? Navy SEAL teams. I learned that and I taught that. In fact, when I went back and I started teaching as a budget instructor, I became legendary. Still people talk about, my classes. But what I was doing, I was tapping into this state of consciousness. And I was really helping people move up the ladder of consciousness in a big way. And then I did it with the hand-to-hand course. I taught people to fight on an unbelievable level because I was helping them tap into this level of consciousness. And so then it, like I said, it kept developing. So now, when I have these achievements, instead of having the attitude of gratitude like I used to teach people, now I'm teaching them to have the attitude of joy. To step up from love. It's a little step, it's like 40 on the scale. I think love is around 600 and joy is 640. But it's massive. Because once you get those higher levels, every little blip up is a massive move.